Hello dear students, class 6 lesson number 1 Henry book exercises. I hope you must have watched the explanation of the chapter in my video. If not, do watch that because आपको बहुत ज़्यादा easily chapter समझ में आएगा. अब मैं आपको book exercises कराने वाली हूँ. चलिए start करते हैं comprehension से. Right, true or false? Chameleons are like other reptiles. False. A chameleon's fingers and toes resemble a crab's feet? No. Grandfather brought Henry home to save him from crowd? That's true. Fourth, in the beginning, Henry treated everyone with suspicious? Yes. उन्हें शक की नज़र से देखा था? True. Henry tried to chew on people's fingers? Never. False. Sixth one, Henry caused a lot of trouble in narrator's house? False. He remained quietly. After the incident at the school, grandfather and the narrator thought that Henry would not return home? True. B. Answer the questions with reference to the context. First, I would tickle him gently in the ribs with my finger. Who is I? I refer to the author, that is Sir Ruskin Bond, and him refer to the chameleon. Yeah, Henry. Okay. Why did the speaker tickle him? The speaker that tickled Henry because he was tired of his very attitude. He was tired of Henry's very attitude. What was his reaction to this? After being trickled, he threw himself into a great rage. He would blow himself up to an enormous size and change his color. I am repeating answer number 3. What was his reaction to this? After being trickled, Henry threw himself into a great rage. Full stop. He would blow himself up to an enormous size and change his color. Fine. Full stop in the last. चलिए next पे discuss करते हैं. Grandmother heard about the incident from Mrs. Ghosh, but didn't mention that the chameleon was ours. Who was Mrs. Ghosh? Mrs. Ghosh was the principal of nursery school. Got it? Second, what was the incident? Question number 2, what was the incident? Listen to the answer. I'm talking about B part. When Mrs. Ghosh was examining and admiring the papayas gifted by the grandmother, Henry popped out of them and scared her. I'm repeating the answer. B part. When Mrs. Ghosh was examining and admiring the papayas gifted by the grandmother, Henry popped out of them and scared Mrs. Ghosh. Okay, C part पे आते हैं. Why did grandmother not mention the chameleon belonged to the family? उन्होंने क्यों नहीं mention किया कि chameleon उनकी family का है? Grandmother did not mention that the chameleon belonged to the family as it might have spoiled their friendship. Okay, answer these questions and think an answer. I will discuss in another video. ये हमारी book exercises की video है. चलिए next question पे आते हैं. Word study. In the story Henry the chameleon has certain special adaptations that help him. There are many adaptations in animal world. Write the names of some adaptations. Adaptation is that how you adapt yourself to the changing surroundings. आप कैसे adjust कर पाते हो. तो यहाँ पे दिया हुआ है hibernation, migration, estivation, camouflage. Hibernation होता है जब weather change होता है. Lizards hibernation पे चली जाती हैं, वो दिखती नहीं है. Migration होता है एक जगह से दूसरी जगह जाना. Estivation का मीनिंग मैं कमेंट बॉक्स में डाल दूंगी. Camouflage होता है कलर चेंजिंग प्रॉपर्टी. ठीक है, तो फर्स्ट वन. During periods of time when it is very hot and dry, some kind of snails hide inside their shells and go to deep till it rains or becomes cooler. ये होता है estivation. Second, When escaping a predator or waiting to catch fish, or an octopus changes the color of its skin to hide among rocks and sand. Color changing property is camouflage. In places that have severe winter, which leads to lack of food, flock of birds fly from long distances to warmer areas with abundant food. This is called migration. एक जगह से दूसरी जगह उड़ जाना is migration. Next thing, in cold regions, brown bear dig a deep den and go to sleep when it becomes too cold outside and food is difficult to find. This is known as hibernation. Got it? Let's move on. Use these phrases from the lesson to complete the sentences. Phrases are rushed in, slipped in, most remarkable, none the worse, spoil their friendship, easily distinguished. First, it was hot and dusty when the children were none the worse for it. Sherlock Holmes, the famous detective, could be easily distinguished by his height. It was most remarkable that the old picture was intact even after all these years. Fourth, though the children lived in different cities, it did not spoil their friendship. Tarun rushed in to close the windows when it started raining heavily. Sarah slipped in through the door unnoticed. Slipped in. Next is punctuation. Punctuate and redirect the sentences. Punctuation आपको पता ही होगा. Use of full stop, comma, question mark, exclamatory mark, inverted commas, capital letters. चलिए. Have you ever seen a chameleon uses its tongue to catch a fly? First letter capital H, full stop in the last. Though Henry, H capital, T capital, H capital, had sharp teeth, I never saw him chew any food, full stop in the last. What amazing animals live in the forest of India? W capital, I capital, exclamatory mark. How snake climb trees used to be a mystery to scientists all over the world. H capital, full stop in the last. Plants need water, comma, sunlight, P capital, and air to make their food, full stop in the last. Have you learnt how animals use camouflage to protect themselves from predators? Question mark in the last. Fine. Let's move on. Grammar study. Work in the group of 5. List nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, preposition from the above lesson. Use them in sentences of your own. Read the sentences. Write the part of speech. Ramu went to library. Went is a verb. He chose 2 interesting books. Interesting is adjective. Soon he was on his way out of the library. Way out is adverb here. He went to park and sat down on the swing. To and on, they are conjunction. Sorry. And is conjunction. Sorry. He started reading one of the books. Books is noun. Oh, so you like this book? I am glad because I enjoyed writing it. O is interjection. 7th, Rana realized with a start that there was a man sitting on the bench beside him. Rana is a noun here. On is preposition here. He was Rana's favorite author, Ruskin Bond. He is pronoun here. Communication skills में कुछ नहीं करना है. Listen carefully to some facts about Ruskin Bond and cross out the incorrect options. Ruskin Bond did most of his schooling from in Shimla. He wanted to be an actor, a top dancer. In his childhood, his favorite author were Rudyard Kipling and Charles Dickens. He writes travelogues, books. His story, The Blue Umbrella, was made into a film, Blue Umbrella. He won the John Lawrence Nobel Peace Prize for Literature in 1956. फिर से मैच कर लीजिए. In Shimla, Top Dancer, Rudyard Kipling, books, द ब्लू अम्ब्रेला एंड नोबल प्राइज. ओके, सो दीज वर द बुक एक्सरसाइजेज. वीडियो हेल्पफुल रही है तो दोस्तों के साथ शेयर कर दो. मैम की वीडियो को थम्स अप कर दो. बाय.